Back now on Base Sunday, our next guest is a four-time Grammy nominee, multi-talented percussionist. He's also a teacher, and he's here to tell us about his upcoming collaboration called Raices Profundas, co-presented by both San Francisco International Arts Festival and Plaza Cuba. Since 1970, Raices Profundas is widely regarded as one of the world's most authentic performing ensemble in the Afro-Cuban folkloric tradition. Show follows the dynamic history of Cuba's diverse music and dance. Please welcome John Santos. Hola.
Hi, Frank.
Welcome aboard.
I'm doing good here. Thanks.
Well, we were talking about this, but what a neat thing. You get a little song, you get a little dance, and you get a history lesson at the same time, don't you?
Exactly. This group is the first time that they're coming here, and they're a major group. They've been around for many, many years. The director is one of the founders of the National Folklore Troupe in Cuba in 1963. He's highly respected. He happens to be a friend of mine. He's recorded as a guest on a couple of my CDs, and he's just a walking history book, and he's taught several generations of dancers, folklorists, singers, musicians who have come through his group, and some of them live here in the Bay Area actually for many years and teach here. So it's going to be a great reunion.
Well, let's see a little clip so we can let our viewers kind of clue in on all this. Here's a clip from Profundas, Raices Profundas. There we go.
Entrevista a Juan de Dios.
All right, John, take us through. What are we watching?
You're watching a rehearsal, and they're dancing for El Egua, which is an Orisha, or kind of like a saint in the Yoruba pantheon. Yoruba is a nation in Nigeria. It's very influential in Cuba and throughout the Americas in the African diaspora. And they're depicting this child saint, and the movement all has meaning. It all has historical. It tells the history and the legacy of the Yoruba in Cuba. So it's an incredible history lesson.
I guess in the drum beat, rich Cuban drum beat that we know from Latin America.
Well, those are specifically bata drums, which come from Nigeria originally, and Cuba's the only place outside of Nigeria where those drums took root and became part of the folklore. And they're also played here in the Bay Area. There are many students here, and there's a master here who lives here who was a co-founder of the National Folklore Troupe with the director Juan de Dios. His name is Carlos Aldama. He lives right here in Oakland for the last 20 years.
Oh my goodness. Well, how about your choreographer, Juan de Dios? I guess he is well known.
He's very well, highly respected in Cuba and by anybody who studies Cuban folklore. And as I mentioned, I met him in 1990 when I went to Cuba for the first time. And he's been here, I think, once. He came to do some classes, and at that time I brought him in the studio and we collaborated. But he's kind of one of the last of the Mohicans. He's an elder. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. He's in his 70s, I think toward the latter part of that decade. And he's still very active and just teaching, and he's just a great legacy.
And how about your connection? What is your connection with the group?
Well, my connection with Raices Profundas is that they're such an important group. Anybody like myself who studies Cuban culture, especially as a musician or a dancer, this is like a group. It's like studying, if you're a jazz musician, you got to know about the Duke Ellington Orchestra.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of like that. This is a group.
It's the roots.
It's the roots, but they're also contemporary because they teach folkloric roots from the Congo, from the Yoruba area, Abakwa, Ijesa, Arara, also popular dance, rumba, also casino, like the modern salsa dancing. So they brought it all the way up to contemporary, and they teach the whole gamut, and it's just incredible to see.
Is there a rich culture for Cuba here in the Bay Area?
There is, because the Bay Area is a very progressive place, and so because of the political tension between our countries, some places they're not so open to this type of an exchange, but the Bay Area certainly is. As a matter of fact, the Bay Area was the very first place where a Cuban group performed after the blockade. The blockade that happened in 1961, the first group to come and play in the United States from Cuba came and played in Oakland, played in the Bay Area. It was a group called Los Papines. And the group I had at the time, Típicas Cienfuegos, we opened the show for them, and so I have a connection to that as well.
Now, you teach jazz at San Mateo College?
Yes, College of San Mateo and at the Jazz School in Berkeley.
And have you kind of introduced this music to them a little bit, and what's their reaction?
Most certainly. Well, it's wonderful. Kids of any age, this music is just so vibrant. It has so much history. It really documents the history of the Americas in a very real way because it deals with this African diaspora music, and the music itself is the real accurate document of in the voices of the people of the Afro-Latin people, so to speak. So it's an important
And
part.
just for fun, who do you listen to? Who do you like that's current right now out there? Do you have an iPod? Who's on your iPod?
You wouldn't believe it. So on my iPod is the Muñequitos de Matanzas, Ramito, La Calandria, Yorubandabo, Yubaire, all groups that you would never have heard of.
Sure.
Because they're mainly what appeals to me is folk music from anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where. The folk music is the real roots music, and that's always the music that touches me.
All right, John. Well, thanks so much for coming in. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Frank.
We appreciate it. Raices Profundas will be at the Marines Memorial Theater right here in San Francisco from May the 2nd through the 6th. You got to check it out. If you'd like more information, please log on to sfiaf.org. More Base Sunday right after this break. Stay right there.